It's also very, very odd because a lot of the times when they were interacting with the robots, like Major seemed more human than the puppet master's blonde lady
Yeah.
because you could see it in the eyes. Like the eyes of the blonde lady were so vacant at points that it was just like uncanny valley kind of stuff. And it was, for me, it was just in the eyes.
Mm.
And I would look into those eyes and I'd be like, that something's not right there.
I didn't think that there was a lot going on in the Major's eyes either, and I thought that was kind of intentional. But I think that there's a few creepy things that happen with the blonde body early on, and it makes me kind of wonder about, there's an old sort of editing experiment where they show sort of a face that is neutral and they juxtapose it with a couple of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And they did experiments and said, like, oh, tell me what the person was feeling. And even though it was the exact same face, they say that they were feeling different things. It's placed next to a bowl of soup and they're like, oh, it was hungry, and next to a little girl, and it's like, oh, there was like caring and devotion.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if the eyes, even though they were kind of neutral, started to look super creepy to you because of thinking about how creepy she was in the rain and how scary it was when her body went to crazy wild convulsions.
That is a fantastic point because I've seen Major like running around shooting. Like I noticed a little bit of vacancy in her eyes, but it didn't really like. I was like, oh, that's just maybe like some kind of this is 1995 animation or whatever. But now that you bring up like that experiment, it could be because when I was most jarred by the eyes were number one when she was awoken, they woke her up and she was like electric shock convulsing. That was so freaking scary. And then the next time it's like half of her body is wires sticking out. Like she doesn't have arms and like it's just wires sticking out of her stomach. So I can be like, oh, well, that's definitely a fucking robot. And it's
Yeah.
freaking me out
Yeah.
as opposed to the Major.
Yeah, and the missing several limbs thing is very dehumanizing, very alienating.
To bring a counterpoint though, when we get the shots of the new being, what is it, 2501?
2501.
Yeah. I thought that her eyes were vacant and freaking weird.
Well, I mean, they like went down a hallway very, very slowly and then paused on her through a screen at first and just sat there with her like head lulled to one side. And then it cuts to another angle of her and it doesn't get less creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has weird movements that are very doll like.
Mm-hmm.
And those eyes looked super vacant to me. But
Yeah.
I think it's partly because of, there's so much that reminded me of a horror film, like when presenting
Yes.
that. And I think that probably reflects the sort of director's idea of how he feels about this newborn going out into the world, which is very, very bad.
Yeah. Thanks for watching that clip from the Anime Movie Podcast. Follow the links in the description below to hear full episodes, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more fun clips like this.